This podcast is rated MA. It may contain coarse language, sexual situations, and fantasy violence. It is not recommended for persons under 17.
Episode 8. Welcome to another episode of 5th edition D&D.
I'm Mary, and I'm playing Zelania Quillheart, the Wood Elf Sorcerer.
I am Eric, and I'm playing Falar Windmere, the Wood Elf Ranger.
I am Kirk, and I'm playing Caradin, the Wood Elf Monk.
This is Seth. I'll be playing the Paladin Dragonborn Cespedes.
I am Andrew, and I am your Dungeon Master.
So last time you guys were getting out more of who the cultists were, you have roughly 48 hours between now as you guys wake up until when the ambush is supposed to go off. And the only question you guys have right now is the exotic animal cart part of the cultists? Or is he just an asshole?
See the lunch menu.
And to be fair, you guys have already decided that some assholes are worth just letting die, even if whether or not they are part of cultists, which are, the Fae. You haven't looked into them at all. But the real reason you're looking at 5 is because it already has that broken axle or very highly stressed axle that wasn't really fixed all the way. And so giving it a little extra nudge to break could be the means to separate you guys from the ambush. Because Glimmersleeve's whole plan here is keep the innocents back, let the cultists walk into the ambush, get wiped out, and then everyone else can just continue on the wagon train. So that's kind of what you're looking into. Some of the ideas that were thrown out were see if you can't convince him to do some animal tricks or something like that during this evening's feast. So these are just some of the things that are going on, that were going through your heads. We're going to start the day with you guys are having your breakfast, packing up camp, and just getting ready. So we're just going to start right there at the top of the day. I'm going to flip it over to you guys. Who wants to do what? Or do you just want to hit the road and get going?
I think our plan's fairly solid for what we're going to do. So I'm good to start off on the road.
Okay, I'm doing the
just eat a chicken. Oh, sorry.
I'm doing the morning calisthenics with the pole. And
okay.
I'm going to try and talk to him before we get going because we have today's travel, camping night, and then the next day, and then somewhere along that line before nightfall is going to be the ambush. So, during morning workout, I'm going to ask him if we could talk in private somewhere.
Okay. He was in the middle of loading some stuff. And when you ask, if you want to talk, if he can talk to you, he looks over at one of the other guards and just goes, "Finish for me." And he walks over, and at first he just kind of walks up to you and just like, "What's up?"
We need to walk away so we're not either overheard or disturbed. I really need to discuss some stuff with you before we get going today.
Kind of raises an eyebrow. Just goes, "Do you mind if I ask about what?"
It's about possibly someone in your group. And I just want to see what your take of it is.
Okay.
And so
do I need to get Archnie involved? I mean, he's technically the one that hired us.
No, I want your insight on this because these are kind of your kinsmen.
He just nods his head.
Okay.
Just
And
directs you to lead.
Yeah, and start walking along and say, you know, I trust you, and it's probably because I like you too much, but I really need to know if you recognize these, and then pull out the poison dart things and show it to him.
You see him stare at him, and he just goes, "What are those?"
Okay. These were found in our feedback, our oat bag, and the person that warned us about them before we ate them said that Marco was seen in our cart messing around the night before. And apparently when these are introduced to acid, like would be in your stomach, they unfold and have a poison in them. It's a poison needle, basically. So I don't know if this is something that you've seen him use before, or he's talked about, or what.
He gets a very stern look on his face, and he just goes, "Who says they saw Marco? Because apparently you didn't."
No, we didn't. This was the gnome that is coming into the party from Borskier. And she stopped literally one of our group from eating this. And we have used some truth discerning methods to make sure that she was not lying to us. So
you see, he seems to just like be moving his jaw back left and right, almost like he's grinding his teeth, but you don't hear any grinding sound. I don't believe you would lie to me, but I don't know this gnome.
like I said, we made sure that we used magic to know that she was telling the truth and not playing us or pitting us against, for no reason. And she has passed because the way the magic works. She agreed to it too. That's the other thing. We told her ahead of time that we wanted to ask her stuff under the force of the spell. So I don't know if it's something. I want to make sure it was something that wasn't used by your people, or if it's something you saw him handle, or what. But it's kind of serious. And we found 6 more. We found 3 in her bowl, and we found 6 more in the bag. And it was just our breakfast oats, so it wasn't like it was being put in anything that probably would have been fed to anybody else. But we checked everything.
Yeah.
And I am concerned on another level because we've heard tales that there's a group of people that worship the Mother of Dragons that may be have it out for us and maybe doing things on that level too. And I need to know, do your fellow people and yourself follow the tenets of this Dragon Queen?
You see him pause for a minute and goes, "Your little dart, as you called it, I've never seen that before. Marco likes to put the blade in and twist and watch. A little more subterfuge than what he's used to. Again, I don't believe you are lying to me. Magic has a way of trumping magic sometimes, though. I don't know this gnome or what she's capable of. I'm very slow to distrust Marco. As for the Dragon Queen, what have you done to upset her followers? As it appears, as you said, they have it out for you.
We've had run-ins with them before, and it didn't turn out well.
He just kind of does a slow nod. What kind of run-ins?
There was a city that we helped save from them attacking. They were sacking and killing everybody.
Exercising strength. Something my people believe in. We raid up in the north all the time. Does that put you at odds with me?
If you serve the Dragon Queen, yes, it would. Then we should probably...
He just takes long, slow nods. I'd prefer us to not be at odds.
I would too. But I don't serve a higher power in that sense. I serve the people that are living this life now.
He takes a very large hand and rests it on your shoulder. There's a grip to it, but not like a crushing one. And then he just goes, if you decide to be revered for your strength and loyalty, the mother will welcome you. And with that, he starts to walk away.
Okay. All right. Go back to the camp, pack up the rest of the stuff, and take off. That's what I thought.
You gonna tell anybody?
Mm-hmm. I'll wait till we get going before I tell everybody. And I'll probably tell everybody individually instead of having like a powwow. So.
Okay. Roll me a quick perception check, Carradine.
That is... That is a 19.
You see the pole bring Marco back behind their carts. And he has a very upset look on his face. You can't really see Marco from behind the cart, but you do see the pole raise, the back of his hand drops, and there's a very faint smack sound that you hear.
Okay. Okay. So I have nothing else that I'm planning on doing this during the day. That was kind of it. Since we know where the gold is and everything, and who's who and what's what. Yeah.
All right.
Make sure I'm thinking of who I'm thinking of. The mouth is Marco, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to confirm that.
And when I see that, I tell people too. I tell the rest of the party what happened. So.
Sorry, had a burp. Yeah, so where I kind of imagine this going down is Falar is getting horses bridled, and you go and you approach and you tell him. Cespedes is getting basically the front end of the cart taken care of, while Zell is, cleaning up the campfire, and you just kind of like go butterfly,
Yeah.
making it look real, informal conversation.
Yeah.
Almost like you're checking up on your camp.
Right.
So what I want each person to do then, Falar, Cespedes, and Zell. I let you choose between a deception and performance to like hold in your reaction to this. Kind of like a, keeping everything on the DL, hiding emotion. So let's start with Zell, just because I got your sheet up.
All right. Natural 20, and it's a 23 either way. So.
Yeah, you don't even blink. Carradine actually goes like, did you hear me? And you're like, just keeping her going around in my little circle here. Cespedes, you're next.
All right. So I'll do deception.
All right.
And that's a 10.
10.
I'm gonna try to comb the horses to pretend like I don't see anything.
You can't help but to keep looking up and glaring at them. You just remember the horrors of the camp that you guys were in and everything that happened at Green Hist. And so much of your being is just screaming, these are the followers of my enemy.
Yeah.
These are the people who revere and like you want to.
Can I catch him and poke him to bring him out of this?
Yeah. He's definitely in
I
control.
need to be pulling on the horse's neck and still pushing
Twisting its hair.
Yeah.
Hey, knock it off. Be cool.
Play cool, man.
When you guys get to the back of the line for the day, with that space between you, it'll be a lot easier for you to maintain yourself. Falar, you're next.
So Falar is really good at being quiet while he's hunting and tracking things and whatnot, but apparently when it comes to subtlety with news like this, I am not so hot. So I rolled a 12, I'm a -2, so I have a 10.
-2. Oh man.
Okay. And just like with, you don't have the same like rage Cespedes does because you haven't seen the immediate horrors, but it's very much that hunter's mind of target locked.
Yeah. Since I'm ready for this, since Cespedes did, I poke him as well as soon as he starts glaring at people. Hey, eyes down.
Yeah.
Let's not be super obvious. Let's not fly a flag.
We
know.
No one's being super obvious, but there's definitely, like I said, it's like that hidden look, that hidden glance. Right. It's very obvious to you because you're standing right there. But
and I rolled deception versus performance, and I'm just not that subtle.
Yeah.
It's fine, man. It's fine. Nobody got below a 5, so no one went, hey, you.
Those assholes.
Those motherfuckers.
Hey, you go to
like,
shit.
out loud.
You all got 10s or better. You're good.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very much you guys are going to have a little bit of a stink eye at them until you guys get going.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if we can get advantage, if there's even such a thing as advantage on like casual rolls or passive rolls, but like I definitely am going to be on the hardcore lookout now that we really know mostly who's who here.
Yeah. So there actually is a house rule I've seen on Reddit where if you're like more focused on something but you're still passive about it, they add a +5 to that one thing, but it takes a effective -5 to the rest of it. So like if we did that, if you guys want to do that versus active and passive rolls.
Falar definitely would be on his toes in that way, where he's slightly less coherent toward the world around him because he's paying so much attention to these people.
Exactly. And it's so yeah. So your passive perception towards them would be a 20 versus your passive perception to the rest of the world is a 10 in that case because of the +5 -5. Do we like that rule?
I like that rule. I don't think
Yeah.
Zell would fall under the same. I don't think she's paying as close attention to them. I in general, I like that rule.
Cespedes would probably fall under that rule.
Or would you just do advantage on perception checks for them and then disadvantage on perception checks for literally everything else?
Yeah. It's kind of like
That's
the
a
same
good one,
thing.
too.
Would that just be easier?
Yeah, like I said, there's multiple rules in which we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, it's just the difference of does he call for a check or does he just look
Yeah.
at your passive scores to see if you notice something. So
Exactly. But we're already rolling dice as little as we are with these sessions because of so much of it just being talking RP.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just roll the dice.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that, and it does give some chance to it.
Yeah. Okay. Also, it's like passive 20. You're gonna see shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rolling would be better, I think. Or
Okay,
or it just eliminates the passive altogether. Like you have to roll for everything while this is happening. Because it is stressful and we're trying to watch a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean we know what's going on here,
Right.
so like the passiveness, unless there's like random encounters between now and when this is going on, we're like walking a path, you
Right.
know.
Yep.
Zell's already not good about seeing random encounters, so it's fine.
Oh, so I had this. Sorry if I'm getting this off track, but I had this one thing explanation for. I saw this one explanation for passive versus active perceptions, and it was close your eyes, now walk into a room, or like open the door to your bedroom. What is the first thing you see? That's your passive perception. Now look around and list objects. That's your active. Well,
It's,
so like,
it's kind of the difference between spot and search in 3.5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so burpy.
Well, the
So I
can
can
of
figure-
worms has opened now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the day, I'm going to ride up next to the pole and just kind of be there and not really say anything. So.
I mean, at this point, is there really a? Can I check to see, with this perception being the way it is, can I roll to see if the pole is being suspicious of us now?
That's an insight check, and yes.
Okay.
That's another reason why I want to ride up next to him. Not to buffalo him, but yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 19.
19. He is definitely keeping a bead as to where you guys are while you pack up camp. But the rest of his group, because you rolled high enough for this, they seem to just be going around their day. But he's definitely got a bead on where each of you are while you guys are packing up camp, and then he and his cart pull out before you guys do because of the order. And then once he's pulled out, you're not really able to get much more unless you go and right up next to him,
Yeah.
which would be actively breaking your charge at this point.
So I guess it doesn't matter too much, but we don't really see him like spilling the beans about us to the rest of anyone else, but he may have after he leaves our site.
Right. So and at the very least, until they are packed up and moving, it looks like it's just him, and it looks like all he's doing is like just quick little head turns. It's like there, milling, there, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. And so you're going to write up basically in the same position you've been in
Yeah.
this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you are so active with this, Carradine, he is not as relaxed as he usually is, but he's usually pretty quiet while you guys are traveling anyways. So aside from there just being this tension thrum, he seems to be more or less normal.
Okay.
All right. Cespedes, everything's packed up. You're driving. For the first 4 hours of travel, roll me a d20 and let me know what you get. Let's hit those randos.
5.
A 5.
Because I always roll so well.
I want you to do something.
To be fair, it's your character.
It is true. To be fair.
Anyways, so honestly, the first half of the day is a nice, clear day. Pretty warm, but there is a nice breeze coming off of the ocean, which is a few days. It's a few days away from you guys, but still, it's close by. That's quite pleasant. All right, so just kind of keeping the ball rolling here. Second half of the day. Zell, your turn.
Just a straight d20 roll?
Just a straight d20 roll.
I got a 7.
Okay. Beautiful, quiet day continues. So I guess we'll just back up here. Just because I kind of sped through it real quick. During that first 4 hours, did anyone want to try to do anything? Talk to anybody? Carradine, I know you said you were riding the pole. You were riding up with the pole.
Either way. Yeah, just small talk. Not pushing it, but just acting like things are kind of normal. Like if we're riding through, get out some food, eat some, see if he wants some, that sort of thing. Acting like nothing is really different, other than feeling a little down and showing it to him, but not to anybody else. Disappointed, that sort of thing.
He's very much mirroring that.
Yeah.
When you offer the food, he kind of waves it off. The mouth is about to say something. He flicks the back of the mouth's head.
And I'm doing the thing like if I'm going to offer him food, I will take a bite first and then see if he wants that. So he knows it's not being poisoned or.
Yeah, it's a very polite just.
Okay.
So.
I'm going to fulfill my watchman duties for my job as I'm supposed to, and whatever shift she needs me to work.
Yeah, for more or less what she's had you do is just during the act of travel, you ride next to / near her carriage, and then at night, basically the expectation is if she calls you or if there is an attack, you go to her.
Gotcha. So that's where I will be.
Okay. Just keeping going through my little clockwise circle here on my screen. Cespedes, what you got? You gonna do anything? Anything special?
No,
I know you're driving.
so. Yeah, just keep on slapping asses and keeping the cart a-going.
All right. And to round us all off here, Zell, what you got? Doing anything?
Not in particular. She's probably re-picked up her perch on top of the wagon just because it's a better vantage point to watch the other carts. But otherwise just sitting and watching.
Okay. And it's a very quiet day, which almost kind of adds to the heaviness you're all feeling. Before it was this ambush far off. Now it's, a little over a day away. Before it was the cultists. Now it's someone you know
Right.
and you kind of liked.
Yeah.
But
like
also at the same
Marco.
point in time, I was also saying about also though someone you really didn't like.
Yeah.
So just today, despite the very pleasant weather, is just extra heavy
Yeah.
for definitely three of you. And I'd say Falar probably not as heavy, but again, it's that target in sight. You've been itching to get your bow out and complete the mission. So we do come to the evening. You pull the wagons in, and this is your last sleep before. This is going to be the last time you sleep before, because you and Glimmersleeve know tomorrow there's an ambush, and tonight you've got to figure out the last cart, and you got to figure out a way to separate everybody into the two groups.
We have the same configuration that you had drawn up before.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah. Until you guys move or convince people to move, that is your order. So, here we'll hit in reverse order. Zell, everyone's parked. What do you want to do? You're starting to unpack and set up camp.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't we decide? We decided there was one person among us who hadn't pissed off the animal dealer, right? Who was going to be the one who would have to talk to him about.
It was either me or Falar. I can't remember who. I haven't had any interaction with him, I don't think.
Okay, because I know I did, and so I'm not going to be the one to go talk to him, but I knew that was the plan, right?
Yeah. Falar,
I was looking at the thing. Which cart are you asking about?
Cart 5, it's the one with the exotic animals. You had previously tried
Yeah,
to help
I
them
think
get their cart fixed, and he kind of threw that back in your face.
Yeah.
Right. I think Cespedes and I were definitely out. I couldn't remember who that left.
Yeah, I think it was just the two of you were the only ones, unless Falar, did you have an interaction with him or his guards?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Nothing comes to my mind, so
Okay.
I'll say that Carradine and Falar have a 0,
yeah.
where at the very
As opposed
least,
to the
both
negatives over here.
opposed to
Yeah.
the negatives.
Falar, do you have any performance?
No,
So it's just me
all
and.
charisma is out.
So,
I am stoic soldier.
okay. So it's just me and Zell, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
do we want to have a little bit of a powwow?
Yeah.
Before we get into all, the action plan here.
Yeah.
I mean, in
Yeah, what's about
character.
to happen?
Yeah, we can say you're having your powwow as you're setting up camp.
We also need to get Glimmer in this powwow. Get her attention. And let her know what's going on, what we know, at least.
Okay, and it's not hard to flag her over. She's very much a social butterfly.
Yeah.
I'll do one group deception check with advantage to see how well you guys are able to not be overheard. This, because I mean, like, you guys are literally parked right next to.
Yeah.
Let me look at this. Yeah, you're parked next to Faye and the other cult wagon.
Yeah. Yeah. So my deception is a 2. Has anybody got a higher deception?
I have a 3.
It's another charisma attribute. So I'm -2.
Oof. So,
Dennis, are you good at lying?
Think as good as you.
You have a +3 as well?
I have 2.
Oh, okay.
+2.
Then I'll go ahead and roll, you said with advantage for the group?
Yeah, because you're all helping each other, so I was giving it with advantage.
Right.
And I was even checking Glimmersleeve, and she also only has a +3. So,
Okay. That's a 14 total.
okay. Good to know. So so you guys are going through, and you're pretty confident that between people setting up their own camps, and with the hush voices you guys are using, that you're able to keep this mostly contained to just you guys while you have your powwow.
Okay. First off, tell her what I found out about the Pole and his group, that it is actually them and not just the Tanner, or the Tanner could be not part of it, and that he knows about the Marco thing, and that she needs to watch her back just in case they target her for some reason.
She kind of has this aghast look on her face, just like,
Had to be
we
sure.
already knew that they were transporting and were part of it.
It wasn't clear if it was them or if it was him. At least we know they are part of it now.
Well, I hope we don't bleed for your bleeding heart.
That is the risk. That's why we're telling you now. It doesn't seem like he's telling a lot of people, if anyone at all. That's the other thing. But that could be, could be sneaky about it. I don't know.
She has a moment where she almost like loses herself. Like you kind of like see like, because before she was like walking over to fill up a pot, and then she's kind of like stops and then catches herself and continues on with her work.
I kind of interrupt and say, well, we still need to know about the exotic animals cart over there, and we kind of had a plan originally to use some quote unquote spices that Glimmersleeve was going to provide to see if we can get them into a deeper sleep so we can search their cart. And we also were talking about having a distraction and maybe seeing if we can get Oin to incorporate his animals, get some of these people away from the cart. How do we want to do that?
Well, I've got the spice on me because, like you said, I thought that was part of that was almost going to be like our backup plan.
Right.
So I've got that. That's not a problem.
That's what I thought too.
I'm going to be the one going in and out of the cart.
Are any of you really good at telling stories? And I kind of look over at Zell a little bit.
I think Carradine is actually better at telling stories, but
I got a +2.
I guess
+2.
I am better. In character, she has fewer stories to tell. But she can make them interesting, yes.
I've never talked
But
to
between
Oin.
the two of us, we can put on a show.
Yeah.
Well, my proposition here is that I go and ask or tell Oin that we'd like to put on a show and have some kind of story involving animals and see if we can convince him for a fee that we would pay him to have some of his animals involved.
Yeah.
Do you think that's worthwhile?
Glimsleeve just kind of looks back and forth, just says, as long as we can get him out and get his guards drowsy, that's all I really care about.
I think you just hit the nail on the head with the paying him. I hadn't actually thought about that, but that may be something that he agrees to without too much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always had speculation of just the simple goodwill.
Yeah. Yeah, and if we do a story where there's several animals at the same time, then maybe his guards would hold them or walk them around, that sort of thing. It's just going to be a simple, like, walking it around the circle sort of thing. Nothing crazy. Nothing letting them go or anything. So, yeah, I guess we can go talk to him, offer him some money.
Okay.
And it'd be like a half hour or whatever, or 20 minutes or something like that.
Okay. So Fowler's willing to go talk to him.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go with you, Fowler.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you get camp set up. That leaves Zell and Cespedes, I guess, figure out what you're going to be doing while they're doing this. But yeah, we'll jump right to that. Carradine, Fowler, you guys walk over to the exotic animals, which I believe, where did I put that? That's the one thing I didn't do is pull up a camp map. 30 seconds, so I can figure out where he is. I believe it's this one.
Yeah, he's pretty much straight across
Yeah,
the
it should
camp
be.
from us.
I used roll 20 to make it, so I'm just opening it up. Come on. Your game will start shortly. Yes, sir. Bam. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so you guys, and I mean, like, it's an open campsite, so just walking directly across to him, not an issue. And when you do, they've already got like a small pot going, some kind of soup, just very watery, is in there. It's mostly like a water broth with bone and some very thin vegetables in it. And it's so you got one guard is already standing guard on the outside of the circle. The other two are tending the fire and making the soup. And Oin, you don't see him. But he's usually, once everything gets pulled over, pretty much goes and spends the rest of the time inside the cart. So that's where you're probably going to find him.
Okay, so I'm gonna approach one of the guards, the closest one, and say, "Sir, can I have a moment of your time?"
The one that had kind of like its sticks poking the fire to make it hotter while the other one stirred. He looks up and he goes, "Yeah, what's up?"
May I speak to Mr. Oin, please?
Sure, he's in the cart.
Okay.
Doing who knows what with those animals.
All right,
Probably
so
feeds them better than us.
So I guess I will head to what looks like the door to this cart.
Yeah, it's only got one door on the back. And it's just a simple, maybe 2 foot wide door. You kind of have to squeeze almost sideways to get in or out of.
Okay, and I'll knock on the door if it's closed.
It is. and you knock, and it has that very heavy wood thud sound as you do. And there was already like some chirps coming from the inside, but when you do this, there's just an eruption of noises. And among that noise is a series of cusses as he comes like, "What do you want? Pissing everything off. It's gonna be all night before they calm down. They're just riling each other up."
I'm going to bow politely and say, "My apologies, sir, but we have a proposition for you. I would like to purchase what I believe would be your services."
It kind of side eyes for a second. "And what do you think my services are?"
Well, I imagine this is some type of mobile zoo or some means to make some money, maybe selling animals. But my friend here is quite the storyteller, and he's in the mood to entertain tonight. So we would like to see if we could purchase your expertise with the animals and have them shown while our story is being told.
Kind of has a long pause for a second. Roll a persuasion, because this is not a bluff. You actually plan on doing this, so.
Good God. 4.
Oh, God.
I could, like, Carradine can totally jump in here. I am not the best at this.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I step forward and I bow a little bit and I say, "The plan is for me to play while our counterpart tells a story that involves mystical animals, majestic animals, and we would like you to be able to parade them around as a visual storytelling aid. And we would like to be able to pay you in gold and perhaps trade to give you guys some better food as well. We just think the morale of the troop, the gathered, can use it. And it's a chance for you to show off your wares and possibly turn up the sellability or the marketability down the road for you if you have a lot of people talking about the wonderful animals that you've had and you've shown them."
Roll a persuasion.
Oh my God, that's like a 9. I rolled a 2. Let me make sure. Oh no, it's worse. It's a 7. Woo!
I guess the question here is less about how thorough and convincing we are, and more about how much he wants some money. Like,
I was gonna say, how much of this bad rolling is going to be offset by what we owe him?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's.
Yeah. Guess I better look at their cash.
Let's find out. So he sits there and goes, "That sounds stupid and pointless. What animals are you looking for?"
What do you have? We can adjust the story based on what you have available. And the more exotic, the better for both of us.
I have what's called a mini phoenix. It is really just a red parrot with really long tail feathers and is very warm to the touch. If it dies, it dies. It does not come back.
They wouldn't need to touch anything. You could even keep them in cages and show them around.
It does know how to return. I will sell it to you with the glove for 200 gold.
But this is just for a 20-minute performance. We wouldn't be acquiring any of the animals. So how much would it be to rent several of your animals for 20 minutes? Which we wouldn't be handling them at all.
See, the problem here is now they're used, therefore depreciating in value. And he starts to go off on this spiel about that, which is mostly, you can tell he's just trying to wring you for everything you've got. He goes, how about you make me an offer, what you're willing to pay, and I'll tell you what I'm willing to give you.
40 gold was about all we had to use for this. It's about 2 gold a minute. Unless you make more by the minute. And you've been carrying these birds for how many weeks, these animals for how many weeks, and not making any money on them, feeding them.
He looks, he goes, I get the 40. I got some rather large lizards. He holds up his arm. It's like the size of his forearm. They like to wrestle to assert dominance. Not for the kids. I'll be there to make sure they don't get hurt. So I get the 40 and any tips.
Fair enough. And we'll throw in a pot of whatever we're making night for your guys. Unless they like the food that they have.
My boys get meat. And so do the lizards.
Sounds good.
We can arrange that.
And when you guys say that, he looks around at the guys stirring the pot and goes, don't ever say I don't forget about you guys.
Such an asshole. Like, do we even really want to save this guy? Let's just let him go into the whole thing.
Yeah.
I do like his guards, though. Like, every interaction I've had with them, they're fine.
But I don't know if they would stand life and death for this guy. You know, he's feeding him gruel and not letting him eat good food and everything. Like, they're going to split as soon as shit gets bad. Like, overwhelming horde flies over the realm. Yeah, they're out. Well, we need to talk about it, make sure we have the money, and we'll be back. Poke him.
He kind of just gives you a and slams the door.
Guess go back and talk about it with everybody. How do we make a story that's with 2 giant lizards that isn't about the Dragon Queen or dragons?
Right, that was literally, I was like, what is it going to be offensive to half of the people in this group, including us? Possibly,
Unless we do the opposite, where we do a story of the triumph of the Dragon Queen over whatever, Baphomet or Bahamut.
Bahamut.
I don't think Cespedes is going to agree to that
Yeah.
ever.
We might have to use some spices on
Pretty sure that's not happening.
We could do it though. I mean,
it would probably push goodwill from the pole and get a little bit of heat off.
Yeah.
Well, so from Cespedes' standpoint, will it affect Tiamat?
Tiamat or Bahamut?
It would be, ultimately, it would be in praise of her, so you could interpret that.
And it could also soften up her enemies, or Bahamut's enemies, lulling them into a false sense of security, sort of thing.
I think I'll just put him as conflicted.
Real quick, if you're telling the story about Bahamut and Tiamat fighting,
right?
Essentially, nobody won historically speaking, the legend. Nobody won in that fight. They just got separated, where Bahamut was sent to, I think, the divine plane of law, and Tiamat was banished to the 9 hells. Because
let's be clear, somebody's gonna win, and Cespedes knows who it is.
And honestly, that's the long struggle between Tiamat and Bahamut, is who wins in the end. So if you want, you could just go for historical accuracy, and it ends with the lizards just being separated.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the problem would be
No, and I get it. Yeah.
the problem would be that I don't know those details. So we'd be asking Cespedes what happened, and I don't think he would give us that story.
Right.
I don't think I would. No.
I think we
And
should
that's-
get Cespedes' story and then change it
Yeah.
with the whole intention of building goodwill.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
willing to roll my 0 in religion to try and augment the story.
Oh, see, that
And
was
see if I know
rolled
more.
my one in religion to see what I already knew, and
Yeah.
what I already knew was a 7, which is not
Oh.
anything at all about this, except that they are gods. So,
I'll roll.
19.
And
And what I
No.
would say here,
I rolled a
is-
19, so I guess I've heard more about it. I guess when we studied the tapestries at the temple.
there's that, but also you have to remember is Tiamat and Bahamut are very prevalent figures in Faerun. I mean,
Right.
I don't think any of you grew up like worshiping the Greek pantheon, but I'm pretty sure you all know a good deal about it in many of its stories.
Yeah.
So even if you're not an active worshiper of Tiamat or Bahamut, it would be a lot like that.
Yeah.
That's just how pronounced the religion is.
Okay. And I got a 19 on the roll to figure out the story and be able to tweak it a little bit so it sounds better. So it's more readable. You can read into it a lot better.
Do we want to
If you
try?
support her.
Do we want to try like persuasion rolls towards Cespedes to persuade him that even if we change the story for the good of Tiamat, it's a setup that will end in the
Yeah.
blood of the cultists?
Yeah. Or he could just sit in the cart the whole time.
Didn't I?
right.
Didn't, at the
Or we just
beginning
send
of
them
the
on
story,
watch around the outside.
didn't at the beginning of the story I take a sword to or an axe to a
Yeah, you went berserk
a
on a
rug.
giant statue of
Yeah.
and a tapestry. Pretty much
A
every
tapestry,
depiction
that
of
was it,
Tiamat
yeah,
you've
yeah.
come across. You also
Yeah.
burned
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole statue. That happened.
yeah.
Yeah, so we know what could happen here if you have you don't drink, so that's good. But like as Carradine like reaches the climax of his storytelling and all of a sudden Tiamat wins, I would know that you would not be cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. So what I would suggest is that we offer, because the whole point of this is to try to draw as much attention to the inside to the story as possible. So if Cespedes wants to be like on active guard duty on the outside of camp, like trying to make up for anybody who might be distracted by our storytelling, then he's not
Or in the
so
cart.
much paying attention.
Yeah. Or in the cart.
That's probably the best idea.
Or in the cart drugged. Since we have stuff.
I think those are our options.
Have to do a Mr. T to him in the A team and knock him out so he can fly. Drink some milk. There ain't nothing in his milk, is there? That might be the best option, just so he doesn't accidentally fuck up a roll and fly off the handle and come out swinging.
That's all up to you guys. One quick thing.
Cool.
I just want to check something here real quick.
Sorry, man.
It's fair. It's fair.
What was his name in the A team?
Hannibal.
BA.
B.A. Baracus.
Baracus. Badass. Yeah, badass Baracus.
Oh, shit.
I pity the fool.
Except he didn't actually
Awesome.
say that
Okay,
to that
cool.
character.
Yeah.
Did he never say that in that character?
I think that was a different character.
Was it really? Oh.
Wasn't that
I
was
don't-
his that was
I don't
his Rocky 2 persona character that said
That was
that.
Booker T.
Oh
I
yeah.
believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
what was tattooed on Baracus's hand in the movie? Wasn't it "Pity Fool" or something like that?
Maybe. It
Oh,
has
in
been
the
a
newer
long
movie?
time.
Yeah, the new movie, which I really liked. I've watched
Really?
it a bunch of times. It's good.
I thought there'd be a second one actually.
Yeah.
Oh, bad attitude. I'm sorry. I knew the B
It's
was
for the
bad.
kids.
The A is attitude.
It was for the
Yeah.
The
kids.
kids.
But everybody knew it was badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just checked. This would be a poison, effectively, that you'd be hitting Cespedes with to put him to sleep. So he would get a roll against it. And obviously, the more potent you make it, the higher the roll. Also, the larger the side effects.
Yeah. We only need him to be out for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
It's going to be longer.
Well, I'm saying that we don't need to make it as potent because it only needs to be out 20 minutes if it knocks him
Well,
out.
the problem is if we make it less potent, he's got a pretty good constitution. He hasn't been sickened by much, so I don't think if you make it weaker, it would affect him at all.
These are your balances.
And who knows what kind of protections his god gives him as a paladin? Like,
Yeah.
I do have a defense against lightning, and I have a defense against disease.
Okay.
Yeah, you got an immunity to disease. I don't believe you're at the level yet where you get to add like your charisma to all of your saves.
No, I don't think so either.
So yeah, it's just a con save for you at this point.
Okay.
And yeah, it would it's a sleeping draft, and essentially it's depending on how much they use and how heavy you fail is how many hours you're out.
So if he succeeds, how many hours would he be out?
He wouldn't be out. He
would
would
be
have.
out. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, right. It's like it'd be like taking a sleeping pill and it not working at all.
Okay.
Fool.
Well, I guess we need to. What does Glamour think about that? Like, how much do we need to give him? Put him out for 8 hours.
yeah, because we're completely relying on her ability to use this stuff.
Yeah, and she's the one who brings up the limitations of what she's doing. She goes. She holds up this little bag, and it is just like a tiny, like the class. Like if you look at like the classic dice bag, it's one of those. And she was like, "Well, I was planning on putting this whole thing into the pot and just making everyone real sleepy. If we're gonna try to get him, he is a big boy.
Yeah.
It would mostly just make them drowsy so they'd all fall asleep real easy and just have a good sound sleep for the night.
But we're only needing to effectively sleep the 3 guards in this small pot of stew. We're going to take them and Cespedes instead of the entire camp.
Oh, we're not doing everyone? Oh, we got more than enough for this guy then.
Okay. Yeah, because the whole camp would be highly suspect that they all fell asleep, dead asleep, and that sort of thing. Even though this is going to seem pretty bad, I think. So
Since Cespedes hasn't really hung out with anybody, if you knocked him out, nobody'd even have a clue.
But I'm just thinking if we spike the pot that we're sending over and Oin doesn't have any, then he's wide awake and he's wondering why his guards are all passed out for the first time they've taken. Yeah.
And I lean over real quietly into Carradin's ear and I say, "What if
the Imperial March? Good Lord, he's here? Split.
I thought
Cheese
you were
it.
taking a very,
Cheese it.
very effective swing. Like, what if we
bring in? What if we bring in Darth Vader?
So I use push to talk here because there's other shit that goes on at the house. And I'm like, if I just use push to talk, I can time this out right. Hell no! Everyone's gonna call me. Sorry.
What are you saying?
Anyway, so I lean over and whisper into Carradin's ear about I don't know Cespedes to know or to know him enough to know if he would be upset if we asked him to take some of this and take a nap.
Oh, I thought we were discussing this like openly in front.
Right. We were just having this conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's part of the plan, and it would keep him from losing control, which has happened in the past. But we need to soften up the enemy, and hopefully that this is enough of a 8 hours sleep versus freaking out and killing somebody, and then we're not able to do the whole thing. So I'm hoping he's okay with it. Are you okay with this, Isbus? Take one for the team this once, and then we can make them easier to attack later on. And it's partially my fault because I did, out us to the pole.
Like what we're doing.
You don't like what we're doing, or do you? Because all I heard is I like what we're doing.
I don't I don't like what we're doing.
It is rough, but it is a means to an end.
We can promise bloodshed of evil Tiamat cultists.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
I can get on board with that.
And if we can take them by a little bit of surprise, then that's a little better.
Although not tonight.
Not tonight.
Glimmersleep goes, I heard what they have planned. Oh, it's going to be so much more than bloodshed. It's going to be bad. We don't want to be there.
Okay.
So with that, I'll agree.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get to making food for everybody. And since it's probably our last night with all these people, feed them really well. Pull out all the stops for what we're making. And
before I eat whatever crap I have to eat, I'm having a whole chicken to myself.
You're just going to stick the spice up the chicken butt and give it to you.
Yes. That'd be good.
Beer can chicken, except
Yeah.
Get one of the fire.
You hide a pill for your dog inside of a big thing of cheese.
That's exactly what it is.
You put it in front of the cheese, in front of the dog. She's like, I'm not lying to you, buddy. I'm just making it easier. Dog looks like, you're gonna eat that cheese. Fuck you.
Falar crouches down in a granny basketball though, and she's like, Cespedes, sit. And he's gonna no.
Stand on the cart and dangle it off.
You
Jump,
roll out
jump,
like the
jump.
You roll out like the big pad, the big sleeping pad for him inside the cart, and you put a big pillow up and fluff it, and it's all nice and warm.
Yep. And while we're cooking, I'm going to ask if Zell would like to go over the story and maybe the music and everything like that, kind of rough out what we're going to be doing so that it's not just a on-the-fly
right,
spontaneous
definitely.
thing.
And clearly, so you know the story better than I do.
Yep.
I have the one number higher performance in the metagame.
Right.
Do you want to be the one telling the story and I'm doing the accompaniment, or do you want to try to teach me the story and do it the other way around?
I would like to teach you the story, and then we can switch off. Like I'll say a little bit of it, and then play while you're talking, and you can play while I'm talking. That sort of thing.
We could, she gets actually excited about it. Ooh, we could take parts. Like you could be you could represent one of the dragons, and I could represent the other, and we could tell the story that way.
Yep, and I can
parts in concert.
And since
I'm mad that we've given up the tips for this.
And since I'll take on the role of Tiamat, and you could take on Bahamut, and we can figure it out. Is there anything we need to roll while we're putting this together?
So you rolled a history, right?
I rolled a religion.
A religion. Okay, that's what I was checking out. And you got in the high teens?
19.
You got a 19.
19.
Natural.
Okay. So it's a joint performance between the two of you. So it's just one performance roll that's assisted, so it is at advantage.
Okay.
And where that 19 is going to come into play, that's going to come into play in terms of effectively lowering the DC that you guys are going to have to aim for.
Okay.
So these are the behind the scenes gimmicks that I'm letting you guys know that it's, hey, viewers, here's some of the things your DM does that you may not be aware of.
Yeah. And we'll pick a song that we both know and add it to that. So it's not like we're having to come up with a whole musical thing. It's basically adding it over.
You're well aware that there are like actual bardic ballads about the clash of the siblings is one of them. It's literally about Tiamat and Bahamut fighting each other from literally the moment of their birth, and then it kind of like ends with the separation, them being cast out of the mortal planes, and it also starts to involve the rule sets around them, how both of them, no matter what, have to exist. Like that is a law of creation. And that both of them constantly try to send an avatar into this world. Like it's a very religious study for this ballad, so it's got a good length to it, but it's one that so many people have done variations of.
Right.
It gets remixed every 20 years. So.
Okay, and at the end we'll focus more on Tiamat's avatar coming back, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
And maybe her loyal followers or believers or whatever, that sort of thing. Not saying cultists, but
somebody would be paving the way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're working on that while we're cooking and using the recipe book to make some crazy good grilled meat and rice and fish and all kinds of stuff like that. So instead of just making one main course, we're making like a stew and grilled stuffed bird that we have still left over.
Before we started cooking, can we have gone around and be like, hey guys, we're doing this?
Yeah. Let everybody know.
So the rest of the caravan knows what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily already have dinner going before we.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know the two of you are focusing primarily on that. Cespedes is eating his cheese. His cheese pill. Thalar, what are you doing? Because they kind of, like I said, they had their powwow. You may have been listening to that. You may have gone and done something else. You may have brought the gold over to the guy to get the
forgot about that.
The lizards, because that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that's what I can do. I can take over our payment to him and make sure that he's fine with the timing and give him a couple of cues to use to bring out his animals.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, like he's counting each piece of gold individually, trying to kink each one in his teeth.
Nice.
Just
if this guy dies, I will not shed a tear.
Right.
No.
I'm almost kind of hoping that he's not a good guy and we have to find some other way to get this party separated.
Yep.
Cespedes wakes from his coma early and just hacks the dude in half for no reason.
Yeah, I guess, Fowler, if you want to walk around and tell everybody what we're planning tonight, a little musical theater with your dinner theater sort of thing.
All right. So the food is made. Everyone's made aware. You're starting to do the pass out of the meal. So you're probably about 15 minutes before curtain, so to speak. Cespedes, this is when I'm going to have you roll your con to see if you fall asleep. She did give you what almost looked like a pretty big dose. Like she went in, like, you know, like when people pinch salt, she did like one of those, like right over one of your chickens.
Not Salt Bay, not Salt Bay over there. I saw that. Okay. It's a Constitution check, right?
Fail that roll. Yep. Fail that roll.
And I did. I rolled with my bonus, rolled a 5.
Ooh. Oh yeah. You don't actually finish the chicken.
Butthole. Boop.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you take like your first like big bite. You're like, okay, just let's get the nasty part over with, and then I can just enjoy this chicken. That's your thought process. You get it down. You like roll it to take the next bite. Come on, back into focus. Yeah, Falar, you see this. He's because he was sitting at the very edge of the wagon, not quite in there yet when he took the big bite. And you see him like lay down, like his legs hanging out of the wagon. And Gleamer Sleeve actually was like, like runs up and like you see her like she pulls out her dagger, she puts it up underneath his nose, and just the slightest fog comes up. She's like, she has a big sigh of relief.
Oh, I'm alive.
Nice.
Yes. And that's when she like looks. You see her notice. Starts to look around. Starts to try to pick up one of his legs and just shove him in there. Like no one see.
Nice.
She's struggling with it. Just so you know.
Nice.
Valar, do you assist her getting Cespedes rolled?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Just decide. Some people have been able because I have been people who have been like on board with a plan until finally suddenly like no chaos.
No, I'm over there doing something else right now.
Yep.
Right. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with the performance.
Okay.
So whoever wants to make that roll between Kirk or Mary, go ahead, roll. You're rolling with advantage.
My performance is a 2, but with the flute, it adds my
Proficiency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a 5 total.
I think I'm in the same boat. So I have a 3 in performance, but I also have a pan flute that and you said that if you started with it, you have proficiency in it. Is that the thing?
Yeah, and it will actually your class gives you proficiency in a tool generally, or your class, your background. And I always house rule it to where if you have proficiency in that tool, you start with that.
Yeah.
You start with it.
Yeah, because you started with a flute, so it's the same.
I started with a pan flute. I don't remember why I like it. It was
It's the elf
thing that I chose. So yeah, I think it's the elf thing.
Yeah, that's why I have the flute too.
Okay. So yeah, so that means in theory I would be proficient with it.
So you'd have a 6.
Right. So I would have a 6, yes.
Yeah. And basically to say is that you're using it. And so what it comes down to is, while he's speaking his lines, you could be playing, and then while you're speaking, like you could be playing. You're doing an effective duet.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the plan anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say go ahead and roll.
Okay.
And you do have Tides of Chaos, so
you
can use that.
Okay, so I have advantage, and then if I want to, I can Tides, or if I need to, I can also Tides. You're ruling that? Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a want. It's not even a need.
Okay. So we are going to use that Tides.
Oh shit!
We're also going to switch dice.
Oh shit!
Neither of those were above a 10.
I'm scared.
Hang on. I am too. I don't like it. I should have known when the die rolled a D20 on the first roll of the night that I was like, oh, it's not going to have that again.
Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah. All right. One more time. Let's see. There we go. That is a total of 21.
Yay!
Oh yeah. This is a great, almost. It's a very great take, and it's very well received, specifically because you guys catered to your audience, which makes up which when you look at the numbers, it's well over it's almost like 2/3.
Yeah. And I'm keeping eye contact with the pole most of the night, most through the song, and as a nod to him, sort of thing.
For you, roll an insight.
Oh, that was a 1.
Can't get distracted. You're telling a story.
Right. My insight's a 4. So
you make eye contact with him,
yeah,
and you do kind of like hold each other's gaze for a moment, but you're just not sure
right.
if you don't know if he's trying to convey something to you, or if you're just putting it in your own head.
Damn ones.
So you're just not really able to get anything there.
Okay.
All right. So as the Glimmersleeve walks over to the guards with 3 plates. Let's see how those guys do.
Yeah, this is like knock it all out of the park for this. It's a bread bowl with like fish bisque, and then barbecue or fried, meat with herbs and shit in it. Like he wanted to go all out for the night. So
Okay.
And one of those guards, I think, specifically wanted mushrooms. Like,
yeah,
remember that and throw them in there.
yep.
So the rolls for the guards were literally 4, 5, 6. It actually stalled on 18. And I was like, oh, this one's going to make it. And then it flipped over to the 4.
Nice.
So they don't pass out nearly as hard or as fast as Cespedes did. But they do slowly go down and go under, fall asleep. Falar, they kind of had you while you're both on guard duty and eating, you kind of end up also kind of being point for Glimmer to see what she does. And Carradine, you saw her the night before, right?
Right.
Okay. So Falar, this is the first time you're seeing this where she does like meld almost into the shadow. And she does like reach up onto the door, works the lock, and it just kind of like serpents her way with the shadows right on in. Which actually, there's a bunch of animals in there. The dice really want this to work for you guys.
Okay. We'll take it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not working for the rest of us.
Yeah, because we're not having too much luck. May the gods be with us.
Her rolls were because, like, okay, yeah, with this ability, she gets advantage on her stealth rolls. Okay, what does she get? Oh, an 18. Okay, yeah, she's gonna make this. Oh well, just in case the 20. Okay, not a 20, but another 18. It's like, so yeah, so she gets in there. She's in there for a brief moment, and then, sure enough, you don't even see her exit so much as now you see the door close, and then you just see like this shadow stretch off and around very unnaturally. But if you weren't looking for it, you'd think it was just a trick of firelight causing the shadow to jump. Before she does then emerge out of the shadows next to you. And she's got a little like messenger bag or pouch slung over. And she just kind of like opens up the side, and you peer down inside, and there are 3 dragon statues, one made of onyx, one made of jade, the other made of platinum.
Awesome.
She's like, these are hands down his most exotic lizards.
Very cool.
Okay.
I give her a nod and kind of a little bow to show her appreciation for what I just witnessed. And Falar has a moment in his head where he thinks, "Damn, should have been a rogue."
And she closes her bag and just walks over, grabs a bowl of, for herself, and sits down in a cozy spot and watches the rest of the show play out. And it very much the show very much goes over like we had said. It's the it's it's very much the ballad of the two dragons fighting each other. Just for fun, I want people to roll. You can choose insight, perception, or nature.
Even passed out Cespedes?
No,
I'm going to do perception.
I am also rolling perception.
Me too.
Natural 20, so 27.
I got a 24.
Nice.
I got a 23. 18 plus 5.
Wow.
I know he said that they fight, but if you've ever seen lizards mate, it's very much like there's a whole lot of scratching, biting, pinning, and bloodshed during these. And these two are going at it like rabbits.
Okay.
It adds this whole extra
Wrestling.
terrible subtext
Nice.
to the ballad you guys are performing.
Nice. That's all right. We can't help that.
Distracting, at least.
Yeah.
Oh, it's distracting.
That's funny. Okay.
All right.
I'm really
So,
glad that this all worked.
I am too.
You have no idea.
I am too.
I'm
No.
glad I switched dice and you gave me that tides roll, because otherwise we would have gotten like a 13 on that perform check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I double checked it, and it's you can re-roll any d20. So effectively,
Okay.
you had 3 chances. Was what it
Right.
was.
And in my head, it just gives me advantage, but that's I hadn't read it also. So
Yeah,
Reason.
tides is very similar to luck in that effect,
okay.
where you just re-roll a d20.
Yeah.
But I think with tides, you have to take it no matter what, and luck is you
can
take
take
better.
Gotcha.
All
Well, the
right.
Chaos Gods wanted me to win on that one, so
And they wanted you to implement chaos. All right. So your performance ends, and like you said, it only takes 15, 20 minutes to do all this.
Were people tipping?
And right as you guys finish, you do in fact see Glimmer. She's posted up at a spot where she can sit and watch the show, and she's applauding. There's a general applause. There is
yeah. How much money did we miss out on?
Yeah, I really want to know.
there is a moment where the animal handler he's leaving the lizards there for a moment, and he does he takes off his hat and he walks around, and you do see almost everyone seems to throw in a few coins into his hat,
Okay.
and he quickly pockets that away. I mean, if you're really trying to get a look at it, you can roll me another perception, trying to count the money that's being thrown into there.
Nah.
Nah, my attention's elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. It's how interested are you? But yeah, so you get through that, and the evening gets wrapped up, and people are coming up and they're thanking you. They're saying that they're telling you how delicious the meal was, how much they appreciated the show. Marco is not spitting at you. It's all degrees, man.
Right.
The pole, he doesn't come by. He stays over on his side. But overall, it was very well received. If it wasn't obvious from the actual tips that were thrown out and the actual applause, that people do come up and verbally tell you how great it was
Okay.
and how much they appreciate it. Glimmer Sleeve spends the rest of her time over by her cart unless someone goes and gets her.
Okay.
Nah, she gave me the information that we needed. I think there'd be no reason to really cause any risky thing for suspicion. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to go like tell her, hey, steal back our tips. Like otherwise, I think she's fine.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and Fowler, just so you know, she did hold on to those 3 little statues,
Okay.
in case you're wondering where they are. All right. So this is right after dinner. The camp, for the most part, is still awake and lively. People are still talking. But yeah, you guys have your evening to discuss and strategize, because in the morning, somehow you have to get the right people out in front of you.
So right now, the right people are pretty much everybody but, and I have to switch over to pulling up the thing. The elf merchant we like, and Lady Imsa we like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through, and everything that's confirmed, I'm copying, pasting that. Just
Oh, and then-
cultist or not cultist to where it's
Yeah,
confirmed.
Glimmersleeve's own cart.
Yeah.
But I think that's it, right? Just those
Yeah.
3. Wizards, if we're just assuming and we don't like them, so fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made the mark of unchecked.
Yeah.
I saw I watched you do that.
So, do you think we could just talk to Elkin and see if she could, Eldry, Luell, to see if she could just move back toward us? Do you think she would be willing to do that with the interactions we've had?
Which person are you talking about?
This is the merchant.
The merchant.
That we need to get away from.
Lul.
I see.
Miss Lowell. And you also need to get essentially you need position 4 and position 8 to switch spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would just line everything up.
Yeah.
So she's really the only one that we need to.
Yeah, and if our group stays behind to help fix the wagon, I don't think I'll have trouble. I think Miss Lady Imsa will stay behind as well, just so I can stay with our group.
Well, so that's the question. How do we do this? Do we pretend a different wagon is going to break because we can't use the animal merchant anymore?
Do we see if Miss Lowell would do it?
I mean, we can, and then we can kill his ass, take the tips. No, sorry, that's kind of out of character.
Or
You're channeling Cespedes is invading your dreams, or his dreams are invading your consciousness.
Sorry, that's not really Falar's way, but
do we want to see if Miss Lowell will feign a problem and stop her cart, and then we can stop him?
We are 100% sure that she is not involved with the cultists?
We're not, but we've seen most of her stuff was put out.
We've interacted with her the most, and we've seen, like, while she was unloading and loading up her stall, we've seen pretty much everything she was carrying. We never found anything that would indicate that she was a cultist at all, and she's been very helpful and otherwise nice.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk to all of her guards, but
yeah.
I mean, do we want to... Is it too risky to tell her the plan and see if we can use her the same way that we were going to use Oin's cart?
We wouldn't even necessarily tell her the whole plan. I like how my character keeps going back and forth. No, we should tell the gnome that we want to truth serum her. No, we shouldn't tell the other person the whole plan. It made sense. Anyway, but we could just tell her
need
that
to know basis, and you have very odd criteria.
Definitions of
Determine who
need.
needs to know about
Yeah.
Yes. No, but I mean, we could try to tell her the whole story, or we could just sort of say that we have suspicions and we're worried about, or we have rumors of an ambush. Like, we don't need to go into the whole cultist angle or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've heard there might be trouble ahead, and we want to keep you safe back with us if we can,
Right.
in case we need to flee.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Zell, have you had the most contact with her?
She went around with the two you. She helped you. I was there for it, but you were the one actively engaging with her, doing the shopping in.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you call it?
Okay. So I guess I'll talk to her in the morning when we're packing up, getting ready, that sort of thing.
And this might have been said. I may have just missed it. But Falar, were you going to say anything to your lady preemptively, or were you just like about what the plan, or were you just going to be like, oh, hey, they're stopping to help. Is it cool if we hang back because
it'll seem spontaneous, but I know what's up. You know, like I'll say, you know, that our team is going to be helping with this repair. Would they mind holding back with us so I don't get separated from my party? And while I help with this, I mean, it seems very honorable thing to do, and she seems kind of cool with that.
Okay.
And also, at some point, we asked Glimmersleeve if she can be the one to stall her own cart, if she cares, because she actually knows them. Give her a general idea of the plan, but
yeah, you give her the idea, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be able to stall them."
I just didn't want to like leave that assumption hanging there and then be like, "But nobody talked to them." So yeah.
Yeah, when you tell her that, she agrees that she's got a way of stopping them.
Okay.
Now, the only issue that Falar has at this point is he's made a friend with the wizards, his chess buddy, and we're kind of we at this point in my head, it's almost kind of meta here, but I feel like the wizards aren't slowing down for nothing. So it's not going to take any convincing for them just to keep going ahead and all the rest of the people go with them. However,
as they've literally done that to you.
Right. So, like, the only issue, like, Falar is kind of conflicted about his friend being in that forward group that continues on.
It's going around, man. The conflicted thing is definitely going around.
Do you want to try to do something? Do you want to try to say something to him?
At this point, I really think it's too risky. I mean, they're obviously dedicated to their jobs, like very dedicated to their jobs.
Okay.
I don't think I'd be able to separate them. I'm just really upset about it.
Okay. I wanted to give you the opportunity in case.
Yeah.
I heard a very loud noise. I think it was a firework, but I got to make sure nothing got knocked over upstairs.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. So we're going to do to finish off the evening, just because like how I said where I was trying to pace these. We're going to finish it off with the discussion you guys wanted to have with Miss Lewell. In terms of seeing if she'd be willing to delay or feign something. So we'll do that conversation.
Okay. I guess I'll go up to her and try and get her attention without being crazy.
Yep. She's got a little stool that she's sitting on near her fire, and she's got a little wine in her, just enjoying the evening. And as you come up, she looks up and she goes, "Oh, my friends. I loved that bread bowl. That was so good."
I bow deeply. May I speak with you privately?
And she goes, oh, sure, I'll need your arm.
Help her up.
She holds up her hand, and she's able to lift up and stand on her own, but she's got like a 12-degree lean to her.
Okay. How do I put this without being crazy? We've heard rumors that something bad may happen tomorrow, and we want to make sure that you're safe. If we, for some reason, stop, would you be able to stop with us so that we make sure that you're not in danger? And we don't know if it's true. It may be nothing, but we just have a feeling that something bad is going to take place tomorrow.
You see her sober up at this. She goes, okay, that was very vague.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of information, and we don't know if it's going to happen. But you've been very kind to us, and we wish to repay the kindness.
Shouldn't we tell everyone so that everyone avoids the danger?
We think that
I'm sorry. It's just
we think that at least half of this caravan is part of the danger.
her face kind of drops, like,
if not more.
Can you please give me more details and stop being vague, because all you are doing is scaring me.
We think there's going to be an ambush, but we're not certain. And the only thing we're going to know is we're going to get a message a little bit before it happens and be able to stop our carts, so that we would like to get you pulled away with us to keep you safe. And then if nothing happens, then it's fine. If something does happen, then we can continue with you to your destination. But we're just afraid it's very dangerous, because people in the caravan seem to be up to no good.
Am I anywhere near this?
You can be if you want to be.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to throw in that we're fairly sure there's some criminal activity coming from some of these carts, and the law is about to get involved.
So there are criminals in this caravan,
and we don't know who they are.
And it's the law that's going to ambush them.
Quite possibly, but we're not certain. And it's going to be, we won't be able to fight anything off on either way. So we don't want to get mistaken for the bad guys, and we don't want you to get mistaken for the bad guys. And even if the bad guys somehow get the upper hand, we wouldn't be able to fight them off. We think there's just too many. And we just got wind of this. So
yeah, her eyes are going all over the place. The color is leaving her face. Roll a persuasion, because you're not lying. So.
14.
14.
I'll assist if you want advantage.
Yeah. You actually gave him the firm part of the argument. So
Natural 20, so 27.
Okay. She goes, you really know how to put a girl on a sandy beach.
So something's going to happen. We're going to stop part of the caravan. The others will probably continue on, and we would like you to stop with us.
I know you are good people because of what you did for that poor soul that got lost. So I'm choosing to trust you. Please do not make me regret it.
The best case scenario is nothing happens and we rejoin them and continue on.
What's the signal for stopping?
One of the carts will have to stop for repairs or an issue, and then we'll stop to help them out. And if you want to say you have the necessary supplies to help fix whatever it is or assist, then that would probably be the best cover. Because I think I think you stopped before when we lost track of the other carts. So
yeah, I'm the one.
So it's not
asked
like
us all to stop.
Yeah, so it's not out of character.
She just has this very defeated look on her face.
Yeah. And it's not like we're asking you to raise arms or command your group to do anything. We just want to keep you safe. And the best way for that is just to not be there when stuff goes down.
Who all do we suspect, or you suspect?
We're actually not in a position to suspect anyone. This is ranged outside of our control. We're hearing it through the grapevine.
We think it's over 4 carts.
Which ones?
The only one we know for sure would be, what was it, cart 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the only one that we are 100% on. But we think they're in league with the others from what we've been told.
I will stop with you.
Like I said, if nothing happens,
I'm just
no harm, no foul.
To
That's fair.
I'm very uncomfortable with all of this, but I'm just going to go to bed.
Okay. Bow deeply and go back to our cart. Look around before we leave to make sure no one's keeping tabs on us.
Roll, I guess, a stealth to slink away.
13 and
21 for me.
And obviously a perception because you were checking because you're going to see if somebody was seeing you.
Yeah, I got an 18 to stealth away and a 20 to perceive.
Yeah, 19 perception for me. And a 21 stealth.
You see the pole looking around, but he doesn't see you.
Okay.
And Falar, the exact same. You see the pole, but he doesn't seem to see you. He seems to be looking in like the other direction, just kind of like.
Okay. So then I'm going to stealth back to our cart and then be obvious that I was digging something out of the back or something and walking around.
Okay. And when you do that, you
dropping a pan or something.
You catch his gaze, at which point in time his head snaps to just something else.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at you. No.
Yeah, very much. All right. Before I know it's kind of early, but before we wrap it up for the evening, is there anything anybody wanted to do, cover, or say? Sorry, Cespedes, you are out till dawn.
Yeah. Did we want to play up until the ambush and then just stop there, so that next time we get together, it's just roll for initiative? Since we do have like 45 minutes left.
Sure. One quick pause so I can run to the restroom.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Honestly, yeah. All right.
I love the detangling process.
Yeah. So sorry about talking to the pole about everything. I just had to be certain.
No, I mean that's totally what you would have done. Like it's you needed to know.
Yeah, I didn't mean to tell him about Glimmer, but
Yeah, I think that it was played right, though, that the discussions you've had and the trust that you've built with him for this whole time probably influenced the decision of him going and just busting us open to everybody versus him holding it close to his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still hoping there's some redemption, but probably not. He's probably going to get smoked.
I'm hoping that you have a chance to confront the mouth.
That would be nice. I was actually thinking about if we all stop and the ambush is up ahead, is riding up in to see what's going on and possibly either killing Marco myself or whatever. So, or saving, pulling someone aside, or if the pole gets knocked out, then pull him aside or something like that. So I don't know if that's something you want to do, Falar, with your chess buddy, but...
Yeah.
That we both just decide to trail and see what happens.
Yeah, that's potentially something. Like we'll have to talk about that. About as soon as the parties are separated, like letting us stay just out of range, so we know when this is about to happen,
right?
And we can influence while it's going on in some way.
Yep. Okay.
So one thing you do know is again, you're kind of in a situation where everyone with walkers is in one group and everyone with riders is in your guys' group. And what you do know is last time when you gave them about a half a day head start, you caught up to them like 2 hours after sunset.
Okay.
And normally you guys pull over like right at sunset. You do make up the time pretty quickly. Because I think, you guys had given them just over half of a day before you even started.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to make a gap, and B, it's not hard to fill the gap.
Yeah.
Close it. That's the word I was searching.
Especially with the differences in our party, like you said, the walkers versus the riders.
Right. All right. So we wrap up that evening. Wake up. Cespedes normally gets up
on that airplane.
What's up?
I pulled an A-team BA Baracus. I can't believe you guys got me on that airplane.
Cespedes normally wakes up like right at dawn with everybody else, but dawn comes and he's still snoring. So he may require some assist. The rest of you realize he may require some assistance to wake up.
Okay. Put his hand in some cold water, some warm water.
I do really want to fuck with the dragon.
I'm not going to stop.
No.
Can we roll him out of the cart before you put his hand in the warm water? I don't want.
So
I don't know what I don't want to know what dragonborn pee is like.
Yep.
It's worse than cat pee.
I don't want to know.
So Fowler was definitely one of those hazing type soldiers, that when they're in their camp, they're just constantly fucking with each other. And like in the morning, I'm going up to where Cespedes is still out cold, and I'm pulling out an arrow and taking the back, the feathers, and just like brushing them across like the edge of his mouth until he like, smacks himself or something, just to make sure, he's okay.
Yeah.
So you go and you do this, and you start doing that like the cat toy. And the first thing you do is like when you go to like stick, you're like, oh yeah, right there, right by the crook of his mouth. The feather hits, and then you start to drag it, and you're like, oh, that's all just drool. And it's at first, like you pull it back, and it's just like this viscous little like spittle holds up, makes a little string. You kind of give it a little flick. It just kind of flips over the top of his nose. So it's just all up here.
Nice.
you actually have to switch arrows for a dry one. So you and you do just Cespedes wakes up after pawing his face like a cat for a few seconds. Cespedes, you wake up like you had just like done the most intense full body workout the day before. Everything is just tight and sore, and like as you extend your arm, you just hear things crack and creak.
School's got me on an airplane. I haven't done that much poison since college.
Nice.
Paladin, yeah, you would have gone to school. So all right. So everyone goes through their morning routines.
Is the pole doing any sort of morning exercises, or is he just doing the pack up?
He usually just does the pack up, maybe a calisthenic stretch here or there. Before, it was when you were doing your katas over with him before the repositioning, it was more kind of like you were doing them by your cart, which just happened to be next to his.
Right.
And then kind of out of habit, you just started going over near their cart and started doing them there. So today would be the first day that it would be. You kind of get the sense of like, do I maintain normalcy,
Right.
or but that would be embracing this weird like. When you're in that relationship with someone, you're ready for a label, but they're clearly not.
Yeah. That's fine. I guess I'll just go ahead and go to where he would normally do the calisthenics or whatever, and just do the katas by myself if I have to.
And he's packing up. He looks over and he sees you over there in the spot. And he, again, you see him like point at a guy, point at stuff. And he walks over where you're doing your morning katas. And he goes, "It's not quite the way I remember the story going, but I liked your twist."
It was for you. It was my, I guess, apology for, I don't know, for making things worse or bad or whatever it is. I don't know. I can't follow your religious tenets. I would only be interested in relationship, but I can't go become a follower. I'm sorry.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Perhaps in the next life.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, my priorities are to my clan and then to my lady. It's a shame that you couldn't become part of that. Marco will not bother you again."
I have no fear of Marco, but thank you.
It's mostly for his own safety. He has a chuckle, and he goes back to packing up.
Okay. Finish up, get on the cart or on the horse, take off.
Yeah. All right. Fowler, Cespedes, Zell, doing anything special or different during this morning?
I'm not. I am actually trying to make it seem like every day.
Just in your head, you've got the mantra of act natural. Act
Yeah.
natural.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially because it's kind of hard. yeah, exactly. That it's hard for him to be inconspicuous with the information that he has, so he's just trying to just play it cool and do normal stuff.
Just because it makes me giggle, roll a performance or a deception.
All right. That is a 9.
9. The time, the amount of time you're just spending with this target in your crosshairs is starting to weigh on you. But and again, it's your movements are awkward and clunky. And one of the halflings actually looks up and goes, "Did you not sleep too well last night?" One of the little halflings that works with you, the rider from the back.
Yeah, my meditations were interrupted by the unevenness on this terrain on our cart.
Well, man, you might want to get used to it. We still got like a week before we hit the next place with the bed.
I appreciate you asking, though.
Oh, man. You're our arrows, man.
It's just a long road, and sometimes the monotony gets to you.
I know it may sound weird, and it'll be maybe more hassle than it's worth, but next time when you go to lay down, see if you can't find a sandy spot. You can tend to move. The sand will get everywhere, but you can smooth it out and level it down.
That's a neat little trick. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
I often have to use my dagger and stab around the earth to make it. But man, there's one thing halflings love: comfort.
I really expected to say dirt. But...
Yeah.
He goes back to his chores of putting everything together. And that little, bit of humanity, it was a sip you needed. Cespedes, you doing anything different? Or special or new?
No, just after being woken up, realized that I'm really hungry, even though I feel like I just ate a whole chicken.
Oh, you didn't eat the whole chicken.
Or did I? So, no, I'm just going to eat and look around.
Okay, yeah, and you are just... You don't have a point of fatigue or anything like that, but you just feel sore and uncomfortable. Mostly because you probably fell asleep in your armor. If you hadn't taken it off before eating chicken, nothing like sleeping in metal armor.
I thought he did that anyway.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm. Fine, screw my excuse. Effects of the poison. You're hungover. Zell, anything special, different? Talk to somebody. What you got going on?
Really nothing. Keeping an eye on people while packing up, climbing up onto the top of the cart as soon as possible, and ready to go.
All right. So yeah, carts roll out at the same time. You're on your road. Carradine, it is your turn to roll me a d20. Let's see if anything happens for this first half.
4.
4. It's another gorgeous day. Nothing seems to really be going on. And it kind of starts to, you get to the point where it's time to eat lunch. And it kind of dawns on you, we never established which cart was going to have trouble. And then from behind you, you hear a loud crack. And cart 7 has a broken wheel.
Is that who we need it to be? Was that Glimmers?
That's Glimmers.
Okay.
That's Glimmers.
Yep.
I was actually had the thought of asking her to do a sabotage earlier when that was still the plan, but apparently she thought of it on her own, so fine.
You said make sure her cart stops. She made sure her cart stopped.
Okay.
And with that, I'm gonna roll some quick perceptions here. You've just got a really high passive, so of course you're gonna hear that. Yeah, no, they don't hear it. He does. He does. She does. Okay. So literally everyone in front of cart 7, with the exception of Faye, hears it. So Faye just keeps trucking along like nothing's a problem. Archnie and the pole and Miss Lewell and the exotic animal guy, they all stop and look back. So does the carriage driver. He stops and looks back. Cart 8 actually like veers to the side and stops so they don't run right into him. Cespedes does the same.
Okay.
The guards get off the wagon and start looking around like, how the hell did that happen? Is there a rock? Like they're looking around for a rock or a rut or something because there's just a big split in the wheel and it's non-travelable. It has to be replaced.
Okay.
Miss Lewell turns her cart around. So 5, 6. Yeah, everyone from 5 back stops where they are. Cart 4, which is Miss Lewell, turns around and rides up next to cart 7. What seems to be the issue? She asks. One of the dwarf goes, something fucking happened to our wheel. No, he's just scratching his head. It's like, I gotta find some timber and get this replaced, and there's no way we can travel on this. Faye is just going. They're not. They've never looked back. Archnie, the pole kind of looks over his shoulder and kind of looks over at Carradine with raises an eyebrow. Archnie looks back and just goes, keep moving. They can catch up. And that's when actually Faye actually looks back and just, but they also don't stop. So 1, 2, and 3 all keep going.
Okay. I'll turn my horse around and trot back through the group or through the rest of the caravan and just say, go on ahead. We'll catch up. You guys with walkers aren't going very fast.
Okay. When you say that, Oin just kind of shrugs and he keeps on going. Samardrag, the hopper, He actually laughs as he drives past.
Nice.
And yeah, you guys pull up and they start busting out tools, trying to see what they can do with what they've got.
We offer a Cesspidus to help, jack the wagon so they can work on the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, and as that happens, that's when I'm gonna let Lady Imsa know that I'd appreciate if she stayed behind with us so I could help out my friends for this repair.
Yes. I understand. And this gives me time to have a proper lunch out and enjoy the air. And so she does. And by her proper lunch, they actually set up the little pavilion wall for her, and she sits down and
Nice.
And has her lunch. A few other guards also, because they're not doing anything, they also just bust out an actual meal. Miss Lewell does in fact have a spare wheel that she picked up in Borskier Bridge. But it is for they've got to do some modifications because originally it was made for her cart, but their cart's slightly different. It's like trying to put Honda parts on a Ford. They're almost universal, but there's some tweaking you got to do.
Okay.
And yeah, it takes about 2 hours to get the wheel off, replaced, everyone to eat, reload everybody, and start going.
So, as far as we know, the ambush was supposed to happen around sunset when we got to the castle, or when the main party got to the castle-ish.
Yeah, you'd be getting to the castle a little before sunset. So, just before you guys would be stopping. You'd be planning to stop for the evening. Because the idea is you want to push past it because of possible curses.
Right. Okay. So I pick a point at some point about 2 hours before that, and then I cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
Fowler, do you want to ride up ahead and see if we can see what's happening, or?
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest that we send a scout party ahead. Not because of the caravan. I mean, for us, it's for the caravan and the ambush, but we can use the excuse of curses and other things that are associated with the castle. We need to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
Also, you're just trying to find?
Make sure they're still on track or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who all can come with us for that?
Okay. What's up?
How many people do we want in that scout party?
You guys don't actually have too many horses.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Actually, I think
only
it's
have
just
2.
you guys.
Yeah.
Who actually have horses. Everyone else, they're tied directly to the cart.
I see. So just like me and Carradine move up?
Yeah, that works. Sorry, I'm doing some shifting to show the groups on the...
I'm going to ask permission from Lady Imsa if she would allow me to scout ahead and make sure that the road is clear from curses and traps.
Yeah, she's fine with that idea. Did I move? Oh, I moved the wrong group. Yeah, she's fine with that idea. And sorry, I'm very much one of those people. Once I start doing one thing, my brain just shifts to it. Okay, there we go. We should be good. And she also asks, it's like to keep an eye out for the other caravan or the first half of the caravan, so that way you guys, because her thought process here is when you see them, we could push a little bit harder to make sure that we catch up to them.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So you have 2 horses. Who's going in the scouting party? Sounds like Falar.
And me, Carradine.
You? All right, cool. So
that works out because we both have people that we would potentially want to save if that comes up.
Right.
Is there anybody that...
And kill.
Well, yeah. Is there anybody that Cespedes or Zell interacted with that they would want us to... Like, we can share what we're doing with them if there was anybody that they thought was worthwhile.
I didn't interact with anyone.
I mean, there's nobody she cares about in particular, no.
Okay.
And Cespedes, you said something, but it was kind of quiet.
Oh, I said Cespedes didn't interact with anyone.
They were all filthy cultists in his eyes until
right, that's right. That's right.
All right. So, actually, I can't like that.
So the plan for us would be to ride up until we could just barely see them, and then kind of trail back behind until we see something happening, and then kind of watch for a little bit.
Okay. So it takes 2 hours. So you guys stopped around noon. So it's going to take you about an hour before you're able to see them.
Okay.
In terms of a scout ride. And about the same time you see them as like the train, you look further off and you do see a very large tower off in the distance. You estimate from where you are about now, in about 2 hours, they will be about parallel with the with the castle.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna stay very, very hidden.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys are aware of the speed at which you guys were traveling before, when you were walking with them. So going down to that maintained walking speed,
right,
not an issue here. It would take a full gallop, probably like 5 rounds before you guys actually like caught up to them, and that's with you double dashing with your horses.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I do not want to be anywhere around it when that trap gets sprung.
Nope.
All right. And there actually gets to a point where it's like you are doing this trot, and you do kind of look over your shoulder about an hour into it, and you're able to see the rest of Group B. They kind of crest up over a hill, and they can see you, and they're coming up on you. And then an hour into that, they catch up to you with Lady Eldeth. Her cart is leading the new order. And with that, we are at the ambush. And what you guys are able to see from here, first what you do is you hear just boom, 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 just drums And then finally you hear this very loud, deep horn blast. And then like a wave from the Trollbark Forest, an entire tribe of trolls just mad dashing, bum rushing the caravan. You can hear some screams. It sounds mostly like orders. And it's very much like watching a green and brown wave crash into a limestone rock as it just begins to get eroded away and ripped, and you begin to hear blood-curdling screams. The rest of you, at this, the rest of the caravan pulls over. They circle up, still a long ways away from being able to even try to assist. And just fear grips everyone around who's able to see what's going on. And we're going to end with this stretch of the journey with just watching the would-be horde of the dragon cult getting ripped to shreds by trolls.
Okay.
Fuck them. Well, most of them.
Yeah.
See why you didn't want to be in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
hell of a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Okay. Man. A little bittersweet after being on the road with them so long, and I still want to get some of that treasure. I think we need some treasure. Some monies.
Yeah, well,
Maybe the trolls won't be interested in it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We could probably plunder some ground.
Fucking
after
trolls
it's been
and treasure.
trampled.
Oh, I don't
After
know.
it's trampled.
Okay.
I mean, there's a whole castle that no one's been in for a really long time. You can go investigate that.
Yeah.
That too.
Okay.
But yeah. So next week, start making the way over into the. We'll be past the ambush. We'll deal with whatever fallout is from there and move over into homebrew. I've got a few hooks that I'm going to put down and see which one you guys pick up.
Okay. Any leveling up? We haven't leveled up in a long time.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Like a long time.
Yeah. There's nothing going on. Yeah. No. Everyone, go ahead and take another level.
Okay.
Yay.
Take a level for this. Yeah, that puts
Sweet.
Hey, if
everybody at
anything
level.
counts as a milestone, that does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So I still want to
Honestly-
investigate the battlefield after it's all done and see what we can find.
Everyone, go ahead and take 2 because we should have counted Borskir as
Nice.
a milestone.
So we should all be at 7.
Yeah, everyone, go ahead and be at 7.
Damn.
Sweet.
Sweet.
I
Level
think
7 is pretty badass.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but it's soon. I was going to take a couple levels in Rogue, and I can't remember if it was 6 was like a nice cutoff or if it was 7, but I'll figure it out.
Generally, you get some kind of class ability at level 6.
Yeah.
So I could see you going 6, 7. And honestly, if you want to sink both of them into Rogue right now,
I
you
think
can do
I
that.
think there's an assassin thing that I want to take first, and then start doing a couple levels in Rogue just to tear it up.
You mean Shadow Monk, because Assassin is a rogue.
I've already taken. Yeah. So I've already taken Shadow Monk, and I want to say there's like a step sideways thing where I could step through shadows, and I wanted to take that first and then jump over to Rogue. until I hit assassin and then bump back.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No. Do it to it.
So that's my plan. Anyone else got any leveling up plans, or are you just going straight through your?
I'm
I
staying.
think I'm going
pure
straight
ranger.
sorcerer. I don't think anything else quite gives me the pure chaos that sorcerer does.
Yeah. No. Wild magic
Yeah.
is pure chaos.
Yep.
And we were rolling hit points, yes, and
That I can't remember.
it's been a long time since we leveled up. I feel like we were, but I don't recall.
I thought we took the full level for the first few.
Right. The first one is always the full. We might have done it for more than one.
Here, let's do this. You guys can roll and re-roll re-roll if you get a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that's what we did. That sounds familiar.
That sounds, yeah. Cool.
Right. I will manage my levels here.
That's another.
I think. Let me see.
Wait, nope, I didn't undo that.
Yeah, Shadow Step is level 6, so I'm going to take my first level in a rogue after that.
Okay, so you're going to take 1 level of monk and 1 level of rogue?
Yes. Because I get my key empowered strikes. My unarmed movement goes up again. Whew, that's crazy.
Your fists count as finesse weapons, so you can sneak attack with them.
Yeah, it's going to get crazy. My unarmed strikes count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, your ninja build is effectively what you're doing, and it's really gross.
Yeah. Level 6, I gain the ability to step into one shadow and then step out from another. When you're in dim light or darkness, as a bonus action, I can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space.
Yeah,
you then have advantage in the first melee attack you make before the end of the turn. I mean, it's going to be crazy with backstabbing.
And with the way that works is if the room you're in is dim light or darkness, you can just do it.
Yeah.
And what I house rule for that is if the room you're in has bright light, if the shadow can hold your whole body behind it, I go ahead and I house rule that.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, it's going to get crazy here.
I can start affecting you guys and bad guys with chaos now.
Oh, shit.
Like directly.
Yes.
When a creature I can see makes an attack roll ability check saving throw, I can use a reaction, spend some sorcery points to roll a d4 and add that number as a bonus or subtract that number as a penalty from whoever I can see rolled.
Damn.
So.
What about Cespedes? What's your spell stuff go up to? You get some crazy shit too, don't you?
Not this time.
2 levels?
So I have. Yeah, so at level 7, I've got Divine Allegiance is the thing I get, and an Aura of Protection.
That's pretty good.
Whenever a friendly creature within 10 feet must make a saving throw, that creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to your Charisma modifier.
Nice. What'd you get at 6?
That's what
That
he got at
was
6.
That was
And at
6.
7,
Oh.
he got a Sacred Oath feature.
Oh.
So what are you an oath of?
Sacred Oath feature. I don't see that on here.
So like you're a paladin at level 3, you had to take an oath.
He's an Oath of the Crown.
Yeah,
Oath of the Crown.
yeah, Oath of the Crown. But I don't see that. Whatever you're talking about on here.
Oh, yeah, Divine Allegiance. That's your level
Yeah.
7 thing that he was mentioning. Oh, level 7, starting at level 7th, when a creature within 5 feet of you takes damage, You can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for that target creature, causing that creature to take no damage. Instead, you take the damage.
Yep.
This damage cannot be reduced or prevented in any way. So, like, if Carradine is standing right next to you and he gets hit by lightning, whatever damage that would have been done to him from the lightning happens to you. So it doesn't get halved just because it's
Oh,
lightning.
nice.
But that's if you want it to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. So effectively everyone got an extra health bar right now because of you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So everyone be nice to Cespedes.
No joke.
Cespedes. He's going to take hits for
You want me to
y'all.
take your damage? No, no.
Do we get additional abilities modifiers at these levels?
At level
Next level
So-
should be 8.
Okay.
yeah, I think there's some classes where you get them where you do get them slightly more frequently. I think like fighter's one of them. But generally it's every 4 levels you get your choice between one ability going up by 2 points, 2 abilities going up by 1 point,
Yeah.
or a feat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing all this on D&D Beyond, and I didn't know if it was automatically trying to figure that out, or if it's something that I had to go in and just look up and put on myself. But
It automatically does it.
that's what I thought.
It's actually a really great tool. If they actually get like roll 20s and counter maps into it, there's no need to go anywhere else to play this
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
which I think they're starting to do. Just because they've got the automated dice roller now.
Yeah.
They've got the encounter builder. At this point in time, it's literally just map packs, which you can buy digital map packs from them already. So now they just need a place to actually host a game.
Huh.
Okay. I get 4th level spells now.
Yay.
Yay.
Only get to pick 2 new spells, but
Which kind of ranger were you? The Horizon Walker? Hunter?
Hunter.
Hunter. Let's see. Defense tactics. At 7th level, you gain one of the following features of your choice.
Escape from Horde is what I took, which is attack of opportunities against me are with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll see everybody.
Okay.
All right,
Alright.
see you guys. Yeah.
This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved.
Gaming Without Gaming's logo music is by Kevin Macleod. D&D intro and closing music is by bensound.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamingwithoutgaming. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching.